All rise. Court is now in session.
This judge right here, she's very mean.
Honorable Captain Wright presides. You may please be seated.
Good morning. Our case today is the people of the state of North Carolina versus Brenda Waters. Are both parties ready? I said, are both parties ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Deputy, could you please bring in the defendant?
Please raise your right hand. You come to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Ms. Waters, how did you plead? How did you plead? You. Brenda, could you please read the list of charges?
Your Honor, and the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the defendant Brenda Waters has been charged with the crime of auto theft, driving under the influence, drug possession, driving on a suspended license, manslaughter, disorderly conduct, aggravated assault, arson, child abuse, and shoplifting.
Ms. Waters, how did you plead?
Well, everything but that child abuse charge is correct. If I hurt them, they ain't gonna disrespect me.
Ms. Waters, it is your defendant's job to defend you, not yours. All I need from you is a guilty or not guilty. And one more outburst out of you like that, I'm going to add civil contempt to your list of charges. Do you hear me?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I plead guilty.
Attorney Barnes, you can present your case first, please.
Thank you. For the record, please state your name.
Brenda Waters.
And what was your nickname in high school? And how did you get a nickname like that?
From fighting a lot.
How many kids do you have?
5.
And according to our records, there are 5 different fathers, right?
Objection. Background the witness.
Sustained, counsel. Please conduct yourself professionally, or I will cite contempt of charges to your list as well. Please remain to the questions concerning the case.
Sorry, Your Honor. Relating to the DUI charge and the crime of auto theft on January the 2nd, 2019, Ms. Waters, you were driving under the influence of alcohol and totaled your mother's car. Exhibit A. Will this be accurate?
Yeah.
According to our records, you were not even given permission to use this vehicle. And because of that, you were charged with the crime of auto theft. And if that wasn't enough, according to your DMV records, your license is currently suspended. Would this be accurate as well?
Yes.
While driving recklessly, you hit a pedestrian who later died at the hospital. So you were not only driving under the influence in a car that wasn't yours, on a suspended license, but you killed someone. Are you aware that you took somebody's life?
I am, and I'm sorry.
And in the car there were drugs, right?
Yes, but they belong to
Just a yes or no would do, Miss Waters.
Yes.
After you were released from jail a month later, on March the 6th, 2019, you set your ex-husband's house on fire. Exhibit B. Your jacket with your name written on the tag and fingerprints were all left at the scene as evidence. Exhibit C. Exhibit D. Quite frankly, I think I could stop here and have enough to win this case. But surprisingly, there's more. On March the 12th, while out on bail, you had 3 claims filed on you. One of child abuse. The second one, aggravated assault. And the third one, for disorderly conduct. You went up to your daughter's school to discipline her in front of her class, and when the teacher tried to stop you, you attacked her. A 75-year-old woman who had dedicated 45 years to the school system. Then when the police tried to stop you, you fought them. Are you trying to live up to your nickname?
Objection. Badgering the witness again.
Sustained, counsel. This is your final warning.
I apologize, Your Honor. What I meant to say is, the information I just give to the court true? Did you really hit teachers and officers?
I'm not proud of it, but yes, it's true.
Finally, you have a charge that happened while in jail. You shoplifted from the commissary and threatened the worker and the guard. Is this true, little Mike? Sorry, Miss Waters.
Well, she said I didn't have no money on my account, and I know I had $2.
And what did you steal, Miss Waters?
I stole a pack of gum.
So you are willing to increase your time in jail and be away from your kids longer over a pack of gum? I have no other questions at this time.
Attorney Jesus, do you have any questions?
Not at this time.
No question. I ain't up back in jail if you don't have me.
Order in the court, Miss Waters. This is your last and final warning. Remain silent unless you're spoken to.
Yes, ma'am, sorry.
Attorney Barnes, please give your final statement.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the case, it speaks for itself. Brenda Waters has admitted to all 10 crimes. She also has chosen to live her life recklessly. She chose to ignore the law, disrespect her elders, and those in authority. If she steals from her own mother, just imagine what she would do if she didn't like you. She has clearly shown us that she has no regard of life because she left a 20-year-old man to die that she hit while she sped through the streets recklessly. She's abused her kids and those who she claims she loved. Since Miss Waters wants to act like an animal, I say let's lock her up like one. I'm asking for the maximum amount of time in the state of North Carolina and to find her guilty of all charges based on her own nickname. Thank you.
Attorney Jesus, Do you have any final statement?
I have no closing remarks, Your Honor.
Please add 3 more months to Ms. Waters' charges.
I told you she was mean, she's still trying to give her more time.
Order, Ms. Court. Anything else you want to add, Ms. Waters? Jury, do you have your final determination?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
May I approach your bench, Your Honor?
Yes, Mr. Jesus, you sure can. In all my years working for the judicial system, I have never, and I mean I have never heard anything so absurd. Court will now take a 2-minute recess for me to process what the attorney just asked of me, and I will return with my decision.
Court is now in recess. Back in a couple minutes. Turn your cell phones off.
Gave the first, why she go back there? I wonder what's going on. You know she mean anyway.
Can I have the salary and courtroom, please? Ladies and gentlemen. All rise. All rise. All rise. The court is back in session.
Looks like I got some southern people in my court. When he say rise, that's exactly what it means. Rise.
I told you she mean.
I have consulted with my colleagues for wise counsel, and according to the legal system, I have the right to either permit your request or not permit it. First, I want to read the jury's decision, and then I will make my final decision. The defendant, Ms. Waters, entered a plea of guilty before the court on today, April 21st, 2019, based on the information provided, and the following is the verdict rendered by the jury. Ms. Brenda Waters has been found guilty of all criminal charges. Number 1, first, for the murder of Jason Willington. The defendant is sentenced to serve a life term imprisonment in the Divisional Correction of the state of North Carolina for her natural life. Number 2, for the crime of aggravated assault of Ms. Mark Berry, age 75, the defendant is sentenced to serve 2 years in prison. Number 3, for the crime of 1 count of second-degree arson of a dwelling, the defendant is fined $40,000 and is sentenced to serve 20 additional years in prison. Number 4, for the crime of 1 count of child abuse on a minor under the age of 12, the defendant will serve 10 years in prison. Number 5, for the shoplifting, defendant is sentenced to pay a fine of $500. Number 6, for the crime of possessing illegal drugs in a stolen vehicle, it is a felony, and the defendant is sentenced to 7 additional years in prison. Number 7, for the crime of DUI, defendant is sentenced to an additional 5 years in prison. Number 8, for the crime of disorderly conduct, The defendant is sentenced to 4 extra months in prison. Number 9, the crime of driving while the defendant's license is suspended is an additional 5 months and a $5,000 fine. Number 10, I have added 2 accounts in which the defendant will serve an additional 3 months in prison for speaking on your behalf. The sentences are to run concurrent with each other. To the jury, as you notice, Attorney Jesus approached the bench. And he asked me if I could grant his request. He is aware of all the charges that Ms. Waters will face, which means everything that Ms. Waters will face, Mr. Jesus has decided to take her place. He is aware that this has never been done before, not at least in my courtroom. He will be given the death penalty. He is willing to trade places with her. I don't understand why he would trade places with a criminal. Why you want to give up your freedom, your good life, your good reputation. I don't know why you want to ruin all that, Mr. Jesus. And with that being said, I will grant your request. Mr. Jesus, I'll now sentence you to 1 life sentence and 76 years in North Carolina State Correctional Prison System. Deputy, could you please come and unhandcuff Ms. Waters and cuff Mr. Jesus?
But I'm guilty. I did all those crimes.
Yes, you are, Ms. Waters, but Mr. Jesus decided to take your place.
Yes, but he didn't do it. He didn't do those crimes. He wasn't drinking. He wasn't the one doing wrong. It was me. It was me.
Yes, I am aware of that. It sounds crazy to me too,
How am I free?
but you're free to go.
I did all the wrong. How am I free? Mommy! He took my place.
Took your place.
He took my place.
Mommy!
Oh, he took my place. How can I be free? He took my place.
Mr. Jesus took your place.
I can't believe he took my place.
Get free to go now.
Oh, no, no.
Come on now.
I did those crimes.
No, you better go home now.
He took my place. He took my place.
I'm gonna take care of you.
He took my place.
I see you later.
This play is a reminder of God's love for us. Your freedom wasn't free, a great price was paid. Just imagine, you sinned, you lied, you stole, you did wrong, you did the crime, and someone else took the blame. Jesus took the punishment we deserved for our sin. He did not deserve to die, but he willingly took our place and experienced death for us. God's law says you are guilty of sin against a holy God. Justice demands your life. Jesus answers, take my life instead. The fact that Jesus took our place shows God's great love. Greater love hath no one than this, to lay down his life for a friend. John 15:13. Surely he took up our pain and bore our suffering. He was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities, and the punishment that brought us peace was on him. And by his wounds we are healed. He died for you. The greatest way you can thank him for what he has done is to live for him.